Hi everyone, Jess here, and today I'm joined with Maurice Jenkins, CIO of Miami International Airport. Thank you for joining me today.
It's our pleasure. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Firstly, could you walk me through what the airport experience would look like in an ideal world?
In an ideal world, it would be more of a paperless environment. The ability for you to be able to traverse from point A to point B, depending on what those points of origin are and what the destination is, seamlessly, without having to rifle through your belongings, looking for your mobile to be able to scan your boarding pass, going through your pockets to pull out your passport. Let's say if we could do it like biometrically, but you should be able to, let's say, from the car park until you board your aircraft. That's the seamless journey. And along the journey, along those paths, having the opportunity to engage to meet what your demands are. And that to me defines what I call the customer experience, but that's also the airport airline experience, all encompassing in a truly holistic world.
Well, it sounds great. I'd love to go to that airport.
Yeah.
So how are you strategically planning for this future of airports, and what are you prioritizing in this journey?
Well, several things. And the airport itself, we're going to be embarking upon a capital program and building out new facilities, and that's always great. But as our industry grows and more people are flying, we have to have the ability to meet that level of customer as well as consumer demand. So the strategy would be is how can we take the customer experience today and how do we refine it? Are we listening to our customer and what their wants and expectations are? From the simplest things, from basic food and beverage to other additional ancillary amenities, we have to have the ability to be able to provide for that. And how well can we pivot and adjust if necessary, because the dynamics change every day. And we have cultural shifts that we have to look into as we have a more broader range market that we're catering to as well. It's not just one specific finite set. So that strategic approach is, let's look at our existing customer base. As we grow our environment, what does that future look like? And can we future-proof it as much as we possibly can? And if not, can we put the right mechanisms in place to be able to pivot and be agile enough to adjust when necessary to meet that demand? It's not an easy lift, but if I can actually work on what we always say, the big C word, is collaboration, and working with our stakeholders and our business partners to help deliver upon that, it's truly achievable, and we can truly make that happen.
That's great, and you've explained a little bit about what customers want. How are you using technologies to understand this?
Well, currently we're doing several trials and tests, so there's some AI modeling that we do want to do, so we can harness more data in regards to, let's say, customer behavior, customer wants and expectations, to be able to look at predictability and look at those level of analytics to be able to cater to what we foresee those wants and needs are going to be. And we worry about that level of data, and whether it's video analytics or any other form thereof. I'd like to even get in more maybe generative AI and all these other facets, right? But also cautioning the temperament to ensure the travel public is not concerned about data privacy type issues, because we're not getting your information, it's just your behaviors and patterns to the point by which we can work in enhancing what your experience looks like. And the more data that we can gather, the better it is that we can do holistically for the entire airport community.
And you've just mentioned generative AI there. Are there any technologies you're particularly excited about that you think will really transform passenger experience or airport operations?
I think right now, and I think that's a great question, and leading into today and the sessions I've seen so far, has to revolve around what we call digital identity and biometrics. And I think that's the newest buzzword, but I think it has the greatest impact that you can leverage across the entire airport community. My ideal world, and going back to your first question, if I had the ability to leverage biometrics, not just for international boarding for departure flights, maybe using it for domestic engagement. Let's use that for lounge access. Let's use that for food ordering and purchasing as you go through and you traverse through the airport space as it seems. Why do you have to continually have to present your same transport documents continually in multiple touch points when you've already used it once? It should be one and done. So ideally for us, it would be if we can actually leverage biometrics more, or this digital identity more within our airport space, I think the passenger experience and that level of customer experience would be more so enhanced, because now you can drive your journey And if there's a concern about that, maybe bring that to your mobile, not necessarily hold it in a separate facility, so to speak, so it can actually eliminate the concern that some people may have. What are you doing with my data?
Fantastic. And you mentioned earlier the big C word, collaboration.
Yeah.
How do you think this event helps to foster collaboration to really drive progress across the industry?
It's so dynamic. This is one of the largest events, and it's a pleasure that I have the opportunity to be here, present here, speak here with a lot of my colleagues. But the relationship building starts here, and this is the reason why you have these events. You get an opportunity to share your experiences, to share your concepts and your thoughts and your ideas, and you can get constructive criticism. You can get that feedback to determine, are you going down the right path? What are the alternative paths to get there? And you can actually find potential partners here that you can actually work with and effectuate that change, deliver on that expectation and moving forward. So this is one of the largest drivers. And if you look at the crowds that are sitting out here today, I've met more people in the last 2 hours, even coming to this, and like, I need to talk to you, please don't go anywhere. So this is where the relationships begin, this is where the collaborations begin, and this is where you want to be.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining me today.
My pleasure.